Well, everybody, I'm going to make it easy for you. Let's start with what Texas did do right against Kansas State. I don't know. Um, they started out the game pretty well. I was a little astounded by the plain and simple fact that we couldn't stop the run because we knew the run was coming. Maybe if we started out the game and we didn't know the run was coming, we thought, I mean, it's not that much. Maybe we started out the game and we thought, okay, well, maybe they'll try to get us with a balanced attack. But at some point, they're going to try to hit us with, they're going to try to get us with the run because, well, that's what they've been doing all game. Run, 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 and run some more. The quarterback threw 2 completions all night. All night, he threw 2 completions. They ran for 261 yards on what was supposed to be the best defense in the nation this year, and I think has as much talent as any defense in the country. But as far as effort goes, they ain't got crap. They don't have anything. What they did right, okay, Mike Davis, you're what we did right. You played a good game. Very good game. Kirkendall had a decent game, but he dropped a couple passes, and what else is new? Gilbert, wow. Just wow. 5 picks. I want to scream at Gilbert just a little bit here, but I'm not going to. I was watching the game with my brother, and he was saying, put Case McCoy in, that's how they're going to win this game. Or, he didn't think they were going to win at that point, but, that's how they're going to get something positive out of this game. But though I'm going to say that Davis was the only positive thing in this game. But I will say this: all these people who want Gilbert out of the game, saying let's put in Case McCoy. Gilbert's not our guy. He threw 5 interceptions against Kansas State. Colt McCoy, as a sophomore, threw 4 interceptions against Kansas State at home and lost. Gave Mac Brown his worst loss. Gave Mac Brown the worst home loss in his career. The worst loss in his career at all, actually. That is before UCLA, which was before Kansas State. Wow. Wow. I just can't believe this. This season coming out of Texas. I look like an idiot. And I'm sure, yeah, people take your cheap shots at that comment, but I look like an idiot. I started out this season saying I pictured Texas losing 2, maybe 3 games. I only predicted 1. I thought we'd beat Nebraska coming into the season. I figured we'd lose to OU, and if we lost to someone else, it'd probably be Nebraska. I was thinking Fiesta Bowl, Sugar Bowl. Now we're looking at no bowl. We probably won't even make a bowl game. Because who's going to want to put Texas in a bowl game as the underdog? In a small minimum bowl game as the underdog, and we still have to win 2 more games. I mean, we're 4-5. We didn't stop the run at all today. They tried passing a couple times. We did a good job. We sacked them a couple times. When they tried to pass, we did a good job. We've got a great secondary, but we didn't stop the run at all, and that's been this Texas team's problem. We've had the number 1 rush defense, but why? Because we've been playing in a pass-happy league for the past 5 years, and we haven't had to stop a legitimate run team. We've had a good enough run defense to just hang in there with the good run teams. The teams who actually had a good running game. But never have we had a team just pound the ball at us. 2 guys getting 20-plus carries, I think, is what ended up happening. Sorry, I got a scratch there, or an itch, whatever. Um, it kind of sucks that this is my first year doing videos that Texas decides to suck. But I think Gilbert's our guy. I've been saying it every game. Gilbert is our guy. He had almost 100 rushing yards in this game. That was a positive. And there was a couple times, 3 or 4 times, where he dropped back to pass and he was looking and looking and looking. He either threw an incompletion or an interception, where he had his big lane where he could have run through, or we definitely would have seen Colt take off. But instead, he sat there in the pocket and sort of bounced around and tried to throw it. It's great that you want to be the quarterback and lead this team, but when you got a hole that big, just take it off. Because that's going to open up the run for you. Or that's going to open up the pass for you. If they have to put a spy or QB contain in there to stop you from running, that's going to open up the pass game a lot more. You can't just stand there in the pocket all day. That's something I think you should have done more. Should throw the ball away more when you're under pressure. Just toss the ball around. I think a lot of the problems Gilbert's having is just first year starter crap, where he doesn't throw the ball away, or he doesn't run when he has the opportunity to, or he just tries to make a pass that he would have made in high school and it doesn't work. Offensively, red zone. That's our problem. Is scoring points in the red zone. We can't keep kicking field goals. And what are we going to do when we're in the red zone? Punch the ball in with who else? Who have I been talking about? Cody Johnson got 3 carries this game. 3 carries for Texas. And a touchdown. And on this touchdown, from 5 yards out, plows into the entire Kansas State defense, moves the whole defense back, falls across the goal line for a touchdown. Greg Davis, what is your problem? Gilbert threw 5 interceptions in this game mainly because of you. I said I wasn't going to badmouth you because I thought you were making the right play calls. We just weren't executing. In this game, you didn't take the handcuffs off Gilbert till we were down 24-0. Almost out of the game because our offense can't put up that many points. We've only put up more than 24 points twice this season. More than 20 points twice this season. Or 3 times, excuse me. Well, 4 times. I don't know. Sorry about that. That was a messed up statistic. I didn't quite think that one through before I threw that one out there. But more than 20 points we scored 4 times this season. That is awful. That is just awful. Texas offense has not been that good. But this is the thing. This is the situation here. This is what I was expecting from the team that come into the year, to sort of explain the reasoning behind what I was saying 10-2 Texas team. Last couple of years, Texas defense was able to get a little lax because we had Colt McCoy and Jordan Shipley out there, to make great things happen. This year I was thinking, okay, this year our defense is going to be what our offense was for us last year. We're struggling. We need something. We're in a big game. Our defense makes the play and makes it happen and wins the game. Instead of our offense, as it's been for the past 5 or 6 years. 6 years here in Austin. And that our offense would just be good enough to, put up 3 or 4 touchdowns, maybe 24 points consistently. And, I was expecting more out of Gilbert, but then again, I was expecting more out of Greg Davis' play calling. I was expecting a little bit more out of this offensive line. I knew we had some question marks, but we still had Michael Huey, David Snow, Kyle Hicks coming back. I didn't think it was going to be this big of a deal, but it was. No receiver has stepped up to this point. Mike Davis has stepped up a couple times, but you don't want your freshman being the guy stepping up because that just provides even more. I just can't even express how disappointed I am in this team. They definitely have a sense of entitlement, just like Mac Brown said. They're coming out there, you can tell they're expecting to win because they're Texas. They don't give the effort. That first drive, they went out there, big run, first down, or touchdown, on their second play from scrimmage. no one even touched them. Everyone crashed in. They had the right play call. Everyone crashed in, but then he just sort of cruised through this little tiny crease that should have easily been filled by Christian Scott, and nothing happens. We just have the biggest sense of entitlement, especially because these are the guys who have been on the past two Texas teams. Gideon has had more success than any player, has had more success than anyone else because he started as a freshman. He's been on two of the most productive Texas teams in school history, and now he's been on one of the worst teams in Texas history. Well, congratulations, Gideon. You found out. Gideon, not just Gideon, I'm sorry, I don't want to single you out, but Gideon and Sam Acho and Aaron Williams and the Brown brothers, and name anyone else you choose to. You've been a part of two of the greatest Texas teams in school history. But now, probably the worst Texas team, one of the worst Texas teams in school history, who's lost 3 home games this year, all of which were to unranked opponents, except for Baylor. We're getting to the point this year that Texas is no longer a key victory. You beat Texas, so what? So what? It's just Texas. It's not like they're going to do anything this year. We're not going to make a bowl game, guys. Throw your bowl hopes out the window because we're not making a bowl game. Put it that way. We have Oklahoma State coming up. Ranked, very talented team. Florida Atlantic, we might crap our way through that game and just get them to suck worse than we do. And we're not going to beat A&M. We're not going to beat A&M. It's not going to happen. I'm throwing out hopes for this team. This year's team. I think next year, we're going to have a great team. But this year, we got nothing. And it's time to just prepare for the future. That's all we can do right now. This team disgusts me. It's unlike any Texas team I've ever seen. But when it rains, it pours in Austin. We lost Colt McCoy. Championship game. Because we lost him, we lost the championship game. Our basketball team sucked it up last year in the second half of the year, losing 12 of their last 17 games. And now, we have a losing record in Austin for the first time, and God only knows when.